welcome back to Dirt Rag TV. We're here now with Jeremy Sycip, and he's brought one of his wonderful creations out of his booth. I stopped by the booth and saw some of your bikes, and I saw one at the Orly booth that had a really neat little tank on the back of it. Where are you located? Where's your business?
We're in Santa Rosa, California.
Okay. How long have you been building frames?
We've been building frames since 1992. Started in Fremont, California, moved to San Francisco, and recently moved up to Santa Rosa.
And once again, I can't stop looking at the bike. I just love the matching fenders. Had a really unusual. I was looking at the old school bike with sort of like a Ritchie style bull moose.
Oh, the bull moose bar, yeah.
Yeah, only it had a second or a third piece down in the middle.
Yeah, that was like our tribute to old school mountain bike era.
Beautiful.
So we made an old bike, but with new parts.
Yeah. So what made you decide to get involved with the NABs?
The hand-built bike show? We thought it was a great idea. We heard about it from Don 3 years ago? No, 4 years ago.
Actually, I contacted you guys about the first one that happened in Houston.
Right, and we couldn't afford to go out to Houston, so but we thought it was a great idea.
Yeah.
And when it finally had it in San Jose, we jumped on board. And
do you think that, that was a factor for you, obviously not being able to travel?
Yeah, we're a small company, so anywhere where we can drive is probably a little bit easier to haul all our stuff.
Yeah, that gets to be expensive and dangerous, nicking the beautiful paint and shipping it.
So San Jose was nice. It was local for us, and we knew it was going to be a good show. And with all the hand-built, frame builders out there and small companies who wanted to support that.
Do you think that if when the show moves, are you still going to be able to participate, or are you going to have to pick and choose?
I think we will. I guess the next one's in Portland, which is still West Coast.
Yeah.
And we'll definitely do that.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure. I guess now that it's picked up this much volume or this much press and momentum and all the people that were there, or the amount of people that go to that, I think it's worth going to. For sure. Yeah,
like for instance, in a few years, if it ends up in, say, Pittsburgh.
We'll have to come visit Dirt Rag.
Well, of course. We'll have a bunch of frame builders crashing in our office.
Right, exactly.
We got to schedule.
So we have to invite
sure not before deadline. And
we have to invite the crash at your pad.
Yeah. Oops. Yeah, sure. Come on. You can crash at Maurice's house too.
Okay.
Do you? So you feel like you get a lot out of it, and in terms of meeting up with customers in the industry,
Yeah, it's a lot different than being here at Interbike. We meet more the public, more the consumer end, and it's great for us because that's our customer base.
Yeah.
And we have a handful of dealers, which is nice to meet them here, but I think going to that it's better.
How many orders do you get at that show?
At that show or this one?
This last one. How many bikes did you sell?
I don't know. We normally don't take orders at the show.
Oh, okay.
It's very rare that we do, and but we do get a lot of calls after.
Oh yeah.
So right after the show, we'll start getting calls from people that saw our bikes there. Yeah. Because all the show bikes that we bring, it's not for sale. They're already either sold or they're owned by someone. Yeah.
That's always difficult for the really small frame builder to have enough bikes to sell.
Right.
Show.
Right. So a lot of those guys, and I'm sure a lot of those guys do, and we do it too, is all our show bikes like this one and all the bikes that we have here, they're pretty much sold.
Right.
Or they're going to be sold.
Yeah, right.
And that's how we can afford to build them.
Do you bring any of your personal bikes that you ride? Or?
I did. That one, I brought one that I'm riding now, and at Interbike here, I did the same thing. I built myself a road bike, so I get to try it out after the show.
That's pretty cool. You're sitting there in your own booth looking at your own bike, I can't wait to ride it.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about this bike.
This bike is, we do a line called the Java Boy, which is our commuter town bike, and basically comes with all kinds of different configurations of tube sets. And this is just one of them that we decided to do that's got a step through, give more standover height, and it's basically our commuter bike.
Is it basically custom colors? Custom. Do you do custom everything, or do you do set?
We do set sizes on a few of our models. Most of it's custom.
Yeah.
Where we size people up. And this one is basically a custom frame, and it has the 8-speed internal Alpine kit from Shimano. Yeah.
And then you could run it as a single speed as well. Is that
Exactly. Yeah. And we're using those dropouts because it has the disc brake tabs that it's easier to adjust and works well.
It's a shame that we didn't see the flask earlier. We were wishing we could pass around. You know,
I know it's kind of empty, but needs to get filled with something.
Yeah.
Yeah, could use some scotch for sure.
I noticed that it seems like the commuting bikes that are going to be the easiest to ride, the most useful, have the more slack seat tube angle.
Right.
Just out of my own curiosity, what are the angles on the seat and head tube?
This is a little bit slacker than normal. It's still close to 73. It's like 72 and a half, I believe. And it's got a 71-degree head angle.
Oh, okay.
So it's definitely it's not, you know, a road bike by any means, or it's kind of in between a road and mountain bike, basically.
And it's got a Brook saddle on it. Do you use that personally?
I do not. This is for someone, and that's what they're using. So, yeah. And we thought it'd complement the bike well.
Yeah. I guess it's two very different things: the Interbike show and the custom show, and the NABs. Quickly, what do you think is the more productive for you?
For our size business, I would probably say the hand-built bike show is a little bit more productive because we sell direct a lot, and so that's our market.
The public being able to
exactly, yeah. Most people buy our bikes. We sell direct, consumer direct a lot, but we do have a handful of dealers that we like to meet here. So they're both good, but that one's definitely you know, a better show for us.
Yeah. Well, it's a beautiful bike. Thank you very much for coming on.
No, thank you.
And thank you, Don.
Well, thanks
Don, for providing this wonderful service that you do for the smaller frame builders out there. And that wraps up our third show of Interbike. We will see you next year.